Oh my god, this is let me bail back, man. Let's get this on. Everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. Make sure you're smashing that like button, make sure you're subscribing, and welcome to the stream. Let me just knock that down, actually. See if that will improve the line. Yeah, there we go. Yes, people, we're live, man. We're doing a transfer show for you all. And let's get into it. Let's not mess about. We've got stuff to talk about. We're talking Isak updates, people. And also we're going to preview the Newcastle game as well. So we're going to speak a bit about that in today's stream, give you my lineup prediction. So we're going to be live for about 45 minutes or so. And then we're going to transfer over to the Man City Tottenham hate along, which we want Tottenham to probably win that, to be honest, because we're probably going to be in a title race for Manchester City this season. So yes, that's what we want. And up the Reds. Make sure you're smashing that like button and make sure you are subscribing. We already have 10 of you inside. Again, I want to bring back these daily streams. Daily streams are back on the channel. Daily streams are back. That's what's happening, and I can promise you all that. Let me make sure my mic is working, because that would actually be a good start. Yeah, my mic is working. Just have to do the quick test run. But yeah, man, I hope everyone is doing well. Saturday morning, good day of football. Some good games on today, actually. I'll tell you that now. There is some really, really good games of football. Let's get into the chat, and then we're going to get into the transfers, and then we're going to speak about the Newcastle game. Big up CJ, hope you're well, man. Smash the likes. Yeah, man, why is that blue? There we go. What that was that? No, was it that? Which one do I want as? Yeah, whatever has that. But yeah, big up, man. Hope you're well. Big up to Katie in the house. Hit the likes and subscribe, man. Yeah, hit the likes and subscribe. We're on that road to 2.2. We're back on track. Man City, though, I've just seen their new stand actually looks quite good, to be fair. I've just seen that on screen. How are you? I'm doing good. Isak deal on next week. We'll have to wait and see. Did you see how bad West Ham were yesterday? I didn't watch the game, no, because my girlfriend's obviously gone to America today, so I had to be up for the airport for her and stuff. So, I had to be up for that. And obviously, just literally got back in from town. So, we're on my own for the next week or so. So, yeah, we've got some streams coming up, big streams. Man City prediction: 2-0. No, 2-1 Man City, 4-3 Tottenham. I hope so. But yeah, let's get into the Isak news, and then we're going to get into Guehi, and then we're going to preview the Newcastle game. So this is what Graham Bailey has had to say. I think Liverpool will make a fresh bid for Isak after Monday when they play each other. I think we will see a British record offer come in. I do still think he will go, as we know Newcastle are looking at alternatives, which is not easy. I agree. I couldn't agree more with this statement. I simply could not agree more with this, statement. I've just seen this about Genie Wijnaldum, which I'm gonna bookmark that actually. I'm gonna bookmark that because that's actually quite interesting. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the games today. Really, really looking forward to the games today. So let's get into what Fabrizio Romano said yesterday on his YouTube channel. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go and have a listen to what he has had to say on the Guehi and the Isak situation. So let's take a listen. Bear with. Why are you showing me ads? I genuinely couldn't care about ads. But yeah, if you are new to the stream, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you are subscribing. So I think he said it in about...
To keep you posted on a transfer, can stay, yes, but Guehi has for the long term, because really Man United are in love with this player, and so I think there will be a lot of movement for Baleba in the future from 2026. But for this summer, Brighton absolutely want to keep him. Also, Crystal Palace would love to keep Guehi at the club. That's very clear. Steve Parish, chairman of the club, also said if he wants to sign a new contract, he can stay. Yes, but Guehi has clear intention to not sign any new deal and to try a new chapter. And that new chapter for Guehi is Liverpool Football Club. I keep saying that. I maintain my position. Now, we have to see if Liverpool and Crystal Palace can agree on a deal this summer. My understanding is that the two clubs are still talking. The two clubs are still in conversation. And the deal for Guehi is absolutely on. Despite signing Giovanni Leoni, you remember what I told you 2 weeks ago. Leoni and Guehi. Guehi and Leoni. And that remains the case. Liverpool want to sign both. Will be able to reach an agreement with Palace? We will see, but the conversation is still ongoing. And so the Guehi deal is on for Liverpool to get a new defender for Arne Slot in these final days of the transfer window. And so it's going to be really important to understand what's going to happen there. Then, guys, many questions, of course, also on the Alexander Isak deal after all the statements from Isak, from Newcastle, all the people trying to understand what's going to happen, guys. I think statements on both sides are part of the game. Now, the important part of the story is going to be if Newcastle will find the two strikers they need in order to give the green light to Alexander Isak to leave and go to Liverpool. At the moment, Newcastle are still working on strikers. At the moment, still nothing agreed. I told you that, for example, in the last 24 hours, they called for Nicholas Jackson. I would keep the name of Nicholas Jackson for Newcastle because interest remains genuine. But for sure, the situation of Alexander Isak remains there, remains absolutely open. This weekend, with the game, it was always unlikely to see the deal happening. But now we are about to enter into the final week. And so let's see what's going to happen with Alexander Isak. For sure, the player maintains his position. He wants to play for Liverpool Football Club. And so, guys, let me know your thoughts on all.
So yeah, he gave the update there, Mr. Fabrizio, regarding the update on Alexander Isak, saying Liverpool again still maintain their position. You're now seeing more and more journalists kind of saying what I'm saying. A deal will be done more likely after the Newcastle game, which, to be fair, I can understand, and it probably somewhat makes more sense. I can't see a world where they're going to want to sell us Alexander Isak. Could you imagine the narrative if Isak scores? Like how hostile it would be if Alexander Isak were to score against Liverpool. Newcastle. The fans, let's just say they would be kicking off. That's one of the reasons as to why I genuinely would be shocked if we see a deal. I just can't see a world where a deal is done. I just can't. As much as I would love it, as much as I would want him to be a Liverpool player right now, I just think it's one of those ones where it's going to have to be, look, we just have to wait till after that game, you know? Which, again, we shouldn't. If we need Alexander Isak to beat Newcastle, then wrap the season, because I can't lie, chat. They looked terrible. And when I say terrible, like terrible against they looked terrible against who was it they played? Aston Villa. They looked absolutely trash. And I think we could all admit that. I do want to play a Simon Jordan clip. Now, TalkSport, you know, they're saying, "Oh, people. I'm sick of people talking about it." They're talking about it too. So, what's the narrative? Oh, but yeah, we're entitled because we're a company. I'm like, okay. So what's that got to do with it? What has that genuinely got to do with it? Explain. Also, I want to also play the True Geordie clip, because the way he, honestly, I've seen a lot of people talk about that True Geordie clip. I used to be a massive fan of his. I didn't really watch him for his football content, to be quite funny enough. Like, for people on the channel that know, I'm a huge boxing fan. Also, CJ, by the way, are you going to Newcastle away? Because if you are, I'm going. So you will see me there. So if you're going to the game, let me know, because I will be there. And bearing in mind that away end, you could probably see everyone, so you might genuinely see me, bro. If you want to come up to me, man, say hello, you're more than welcome. I've actually had a few people now when I've gone to Liverpool games. Funny enough, they've actually noticed my content. One of them was actually an Everton fan, which I thought was quite funny. An Everton fan, noticing my content. Yeah, mad. Right, let me just pull that back up there, because I do want to discuss that as well. What was said there. I'm just getting obviously these lineups ready for the watch along. What's people's predictions for the Tottenham game? I can't lie. I think Man City win. Although Tottenham, to be fair, are very good. Like, that's the one game where Tottenham will somewhat show up. As much as Tottenham can be absolutely dreadful, they tend to kind of show up there for some reason. Like, they always show up against Manchester City. But on the Newcastle games chat, we are going to do the preview on that. I just wanted to speak about the Isak situation, because I know everyone loves talking about it. And we're going to speak about Guehi as well. So we're going to go over to the watch along in about not an hour's time. In about half an hour's time. So if you like your football, make sure you tune into that watch along, because that watch along is going to be absolute mad, especially if Tottenham can win. Hopefully Tottenham can win, because obviously Tara race, etc. Who the hell's ringing me? I'm literally doing a live stream, mate. People on my phone, right, make me laugh. No one normally ever rings me. I go live. I normally, if I don't end up with at least 5 missed calls, it's like, wow. It's genuinely wait, what? Oh my God, people are not ringing me. Wait, what? What's going on here? Do you know what I mean? He's so jarring. Just, you literally follow my YouTube channel. You literally have notifications turned on. I'm live. Yeah, let's just give him a ring. Let's just give the silly man a ring. Right, let me... why is that like that? Right, let's go through some of the comments. And then, yeah, we'll talk about the Isak situation. Footy, big up, and hope you are. This is going to be a Liverpool final Ajax game. I know. I think a bid goes in after the game. Like, I agree. To be honest with you, a bid will go in. Villa, Newcastle fans have been backing True Geordie and thinking he didn't say anything wrong. How on earth is comparing a football death to a player leaving a football club not how is that comparable? How is a footballer passing away comparable to a footballer leaving? He's still... What? I'm going, lad. What row are you in? Could you imagine if I'm like sat in front of you or sat behind you? Gee, that would be hilarious. Oh my god. Heard we are talking to Rodrigo. Be a good signing. He could play anywhere across the front line. He can. I like Rodrigo, lads, but I would be shocked. But yeah, the reports are, guys, that Alexander Isak to Liverpool bid after Monday. Let me know your thoughts on that. In my opinion, I can see it. I really, really can see it. I genuinely could see it. Because the way I look at it is, again, do they want him to play against Newcastle at St. James's Park? Probably not, because of how hostile it's going to be. And again, there's a lot of reports that Liverpool are going to be putting in a bid. And obviously, you know, Fabrizio Romano also confirming that Alexander Isak has no intention of changing his mind. He's not going to change his mind. He is simply not going to change his mind. Team Talk also saying 120 to 130 million. I think personally they accept. I personally think they accept that for a price. I do. I think that's a price. I think, big up to Philip, hope you well. I think that's a price I think they would be willing to accept for him. If I'm being honest, I think that's a price where they'll be like, you know what, we'll take that. We'll take that. And then obviously they have a couple of days to reinvest. I personally think a deal needs to be done probably by Friday, though. Next Friday, because at that point, you still got to do all the documents. Now, we know personal terms, etc., is not going to be an issue to be completed. But it's also about just, you know, getting the paperwork and everything over the line. Obviously, Newcastle probably want a bit of time to maybe spend that money. Or would they be content to maybe waiting until January, thinking we have enough in our team if we can bring a player or two? And if they can bring in a player or two by Friday, they may look at it and think, look, we could save all this for next summer and restart the whole project for next summer, or reinvest it all in January. Because let's say if they're having a good season, they're like 5th place or whatever, go and reinvest the money back into the squad and go and solidify your team side getting Champions League football again. So again, that's definitely a possibility. So I think there's certainly a lot of possibilities around this. A couple of other things I did wanted to get into the Guehi situation. I think that's going to be a deal that gets done next week. You know, Graham Bailey saying the same thing. Crystal Palace are now actively trying to sell Mark Guehi to Liverpool before the window shuts, with Chairman Steve Parsh unwilling to lose the defender on a free. However, Liverpool still do not want to meet Palace's asking price. That's why I think we're getting for 30 to 35 million then. Because Fabrizio Romano confirmed that we're willing to pay that. We're not going to pay 40. Let's meet in the middle ground. You don't want to lose them for free. We want to pay 30 to 40 million. Pay it. I think it's very much a situation like that. So I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that is going to develop. I want to see if Craig Hope has posted any videos regarding the situation. So let's get that up for you all. By the way, make sure you're smashing that like button and you're subscribing to the channel. Very, very important. You do so with 21 subs from 2.2. So yeah, let's try and get out that. Keith Dowie done a video. I wanted to take a look at this. I'll be honest, I genuinely couldn't give a flip about Tudor watches. Thank you very much.
How doing? Welcome back to the channel. Here you are, Friday morning, back at the Newcastle United training ground. And yeah, Alexander Isak, the only story in town this morning ahead of Liverpool's visit on Monday, which of course is 3 days away, so we've got a bit of time to go. Firstly, before I get into the video, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Really pleased to get the subscribers up in recent weeks. Leave your comments below as ever, and let us know what you think of the video. Firstly, before I get into it, I've had I did a live on Sky Sports News this morning, 8:15, and I've had 3 texts from 3 friends to say, Keith, you look absolutely awful. You need to get some sleep. That Isak situation is taking its toll. And yeah, I agree with them. I agree with you. I do look like, I feel like, and it's not ideal, is it? It's this transfer window has just dragged on forever. We've still got 10 days to go. I'm fed up talking about this Alexander Isak situation, as I'm sure Eddie Howe is, as I'm sure you guys are. You want to concentrate on the football. It's such a shame that you've got such a big game against Liverpool on Monday under the lights in James's Park, and we're concentrating on this Alexander Isak situation. But maybe once we get today out of the way, we can then over the weekend talk about the football again and build up to the actual match on Monday night. Maybe not a bad thing that Eddie's got sort of 3 days between his press conference and Monday's game against Liverpool. So as I say, yeah, at his news conference today, all the questions, pretty much all of them, fielded towards Eddie regarding the statement that Alex put out on Tuesday night, and also the response from the club. Eddie said that, you know, the response from the club was in this occasion justified. He said it's regrettable it's come to this situation, and he felt that having to deal with it on Tuesday night, it was quite a sad situation. It saddened him, and yeah, like, I have to echo his thoughts there. It is sad that it's come to this situation. And you know, Eddie said a couple of times today in his news conference that he's still got a really good relationship with Alex. He speaks to him a lot. He said he's not seen him the last 5 or 6 days, but last week he saw him a few times. They haven't crossed paths in the training ground. Remember, Isak's, of course, coming in later on in the day once the rest of the players are away. But Eddie says that by the time Isak arrives and does his own training, he's already in meetings, and he says his days in the afternoon are chaos at the moment. So that's why he's not seen him. But he says, look, he does have a really good working relationship with him, and that, look, despite all of this, he is an actual, proper, true professional when it comes to how he looks after himself, his training regime, everything he does to make himself a top player. It's just that, and this is me saying this and not Eddie Howe, it's just the way he has conducted himself over this summer that to me hasn't been professional. I've said it a couple of times already, and I'll say it again. Essentially, going on strike isn't the way to be going about things when you're earning £150,000 a week plus bonuses. Read the room, look at the people in the northeast. People are struggling to put food on the table. Look at the state of the world at the moment with war over in Gaza and whatnot. And you've got a guy unhappy earning £150,000 a week. It doesn't sit well with me, and there's ways of going about it. You know, he could have made it clear he wanted to leave while still remaining professional, while still training, while still making himself available to his teammates. He's not done that. I have to say, if you're a Newcastle player in that dressing room, and you can kind of read between the lines and things that Dan Burn and Anthony Gordon and Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton have Gordon and Burn have said, and Joe Linton and Bruno have posted in recent weeks that they are unhappy. They're unhappy with the fact that he's making himself unavailable and disappointed that it has come to this. So look, you can see that it's far from a good situation for anyone involved. Eddie said that, look, it's a sad situation and a bad situation for not just the club, but for Alex himself. For me, it's a slight on his character moving forward. Doesn't look good for him in terms of moving potentially to other clubs. If he were to sign for Liverpool, how are they going to
likes,
chat?
make sure
you're
sign
for Real Madrid in the future, he's always going to have this kind of stain on his character. And I just find it so sad that just 4 months after scoring the winner in the cup final, bringing tens and tens of thousands of you guys to tears in the stands at Wembley that day, he's now acting in this way. It's an incredible fall from grace that's going to take a lot of getting over, a lot of work, a really huge man management job from Eddie Howe. And as I say, as the days tick on, we're now 10 days away from the transfer window closing. It's becoming increasingly likely, and I said this a few weeks ago, increasingly likely that Isak will be a Newcastle player after the end of the transfer window. Now, does he play? I think everyone thinks he will. I think he will. But look, there is a scenario where he won't play. He might dig his heels in further. I would be surprised if that happened. But it's going to be difficult for him. Like, we see him turning up to the training ground. You know, there's some unsavoury comments from fans, people waiting. We've seen a lot of stuff on social media. I was at a pub quiz the other week, and the name of the pub quiz, the team wasn't good in terms of negative towards Isak. He will be aware of what people are saying about him. Can he bring it back? Yes, he probably can bring it back with goals, but you need to get to the goal scoring stage. What happens between getting back into the team and scoring your first goal? That's not going to be the most comfortable situation for anyone involved. Yeah, look, obviously, if he is going to work his way back into the team, there will be an apology, there'll be an explanation, there'll be words will be said. Eddie will ask everyone to rally round, and that'll probably...
I'll be honest, I don't think he's doing any of that. Because like I mentioned on yesterday's stream, Isak seems like a man of principles. Isak seems like a type of guy where he will not go back on his word. And he basically even confirmed in his statement, it cannot continue. So why would he go back on his word?
Probably soften the situation a little bit, but it's still very, very delicate and acute at this moment in time. And Eddie was saying that. I mean, Eddie reckons he can bring him back round. He's done it before. He reckons he can do it again. I personally just think it's going to be a hard task. I mean, not many players have taken it to this extent and this level before. Like, we have seen like Pierre Van Hooijdonk going on strike, and we saw the Sol Campbell situation when he went from Spurs to Arsenal, and there has been some really high profile incidents like this, but I don't think anyone like this that has basically been the main story on every news outlet and every newspaper every day for what seems like weeks now, which is why I'm absolutely shattered. So look, Eddie said he was saddened by what happened during the week, but he was clear. He said, look, he's still a Newcastle player, and he said he wants to get to the end of the window. It'll be relief once he gets to the end of the window, so they can concentrate on the football and they can try and reintegrate him back into the team. So it sounded positive from Eddie. It sounded as though like he's confident that will happen. He wants the player. And look, as I said to a couple of my colleagues in the press conference today afterwards, if you manage to get Johan Wissel over the line, and hopefully we'll have some more news on that later on today, if not tomorrow, if you manage to get him over the line and Isak stays and you get his head into the right space, I know that's not going to be easy. It's going to take time to do that. You've got a really strong squad for this season, a really, really strong squad. No injuries really other than Joe Willock at the moment, and you've got a chance to really make an impact this season, but a lot of work has to happen between now and then, and it's just a shame that you're not going to have him against Liverpool on Monday. I think you beat Liverpool on Monday. I just can't see how the fans won't allow that. I think you'll be right up for it. Liverpool, you know, they were open on the counter-attack against Bournemouth last Friday. Bournemouth scored a couple of goals. They've not got much in terms of protection for the defence. I just think the crowd will be the 12th and the 13th man on Monday night, and I can't see anything than a Newcastle United result. Probably a victory, at the worst a draw. I definitely think you're going to get some.
Yeah, you're getting turned off now, mate. Shut up. You prat. Right, people, we're going to get into the preview. We will save the Isak chat for another day. If you're joining the stream, you want to listen to about the Guehi situation and what Fabrizio Romano had to say, rewind the stream. Guehi deal probably this week. I reckon it's going to be a deadline day signing, Guehi. And I think Isak happens after the Newcastle game. That's my official predictions. But I wanted to get into the Newcastle preview, my starting 11 prediction. What do I think will happen? I think Alisson in goal. I think we can all imagine that. Now, right back is going to be interesting because Conor Bradley trained, but Frimpong hasn't. He's out until after international break. So it's going to have to be Conor Bradley because Joe Gomez ain't fit. Joe Gomez is not fit. Are you going to go Szoboszlai right back? Are you potentially going maybe a 3 at the back with Giovanni Leone? Like, do you really want to shove him in there in his debut? It's going to be a difficult ask, this lineup. But I do think the centre-backs will be very easy. I think it's going to be Virgil and Canate. Left back, does he maybe go Robertson for experience? Because of what Newcastle is going to bring. I won't be surprised if a Robertson starts. Do not be shocked. But I do think Milos Kerkez. The one man I think we missed heavily was Ryan Gravenberch. I think we missed that dictator, that guy that's the temper, that guy that, first of all, can win back the ball, dominate a midfield on his own. I think we heavily missed him against Bournemouth. And the fact that he's going to be back for Newcastle away in a game like this against a physical, tough, well-drilled, going to be up for it midfield in Newcastle. Gravenberch's going to have to start. Who does he go at left? Does he go Szoboszlai for the engine? Does he go Szoboszlai for them long balls that he can play? Does he go Alexis McAllister? I think he goes Alexis McAllister, in my opinion. So I think you're going to see Alexis McAllister, Gravenberch midfield. I think off the right, it's definitely going to be Ahmed Salah. In the 10, Florian Wirtz, self-explanatory. I thought he was okay against Bournemouth. Yes, I do think he could have been better, but I'm not one of these people that's just going to over-criticise him. Off the left, I think it's going to be Cody Gakpo. Why this guy is so underrated, I don't know, in our fan base. And then up top, it's going to be Hugo Ekitike. Again, Hugo Ekitike is going to be playing against the team that tried to get him as well. Could you imagine if Hugo Ekitike does that celebration? Oh my God, that would be hilarious. Oh my days, that would be hilarious. Please, we need it. Oh my days. Maybe he does this and does like a laughing face or something. That would be absolute jokes. I can't lie. But this is the team. I think, don't be surprised if you see maybe a Szoboszlai start. Don't be surprised if you see a long shot of a Wataru Endo. That guy can bite down on his gum shield and do anything. Do you know what I mean? Score prediction though, chat. I've gone with a 2-1 Liverpool win. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 2. I think it's going to be a tough game. I wouldn't be surprised if they score first. We would need the first goal. If we could say that first goal, I'm very confident and comfortable we actually beat Newcastle, because I think they didn't look impressive in pre-season. They didn't look impressive against Aston Villa last week. They looked toothless up front. What is their attacking three going to be? It's going to be Barnes, Gordon, Elanga. Gordon didn't look right down the middle. And people in the chat know I'm a big Anthony Gordon fan. But ultimately, he's not a striker. Ultimately, he is genuinely not a striker. 2-2, I think Szoboszlai right back. Szoboszlai right back could genuinely be a shout. I won't be surprised at Szoboszlai right back, because then again, he has the legs to be able to go into midfield as well. And we know Canate on his day can cover. Canate needs to be on form in this game, Jesus, as well. But look, I think it's going to be a tough game, hence why I've gone for a 2-1. Don't be surprised if you see a red card. Don't be surprised if you see a lot of things in this game. I certainly think it's going to be interesting on against some of your lots of predictions. 4-3, we are talking on the pitch. Facts. I'm not going to lie, I've never backed Liverpool, but I want you lot to smash Newcastle. Come on. Who do you support, by the way, mate? Who do you support? Let us know, because you got Jabi Alonso as your profile pic. So you have a Leverkusen fan, a Real Madrid fan, actually a Bayern Munich fan. 100% a red card or two. Yeah, I won't be surprised. Do not be surprised if we see a red card or something absolute madness in this game. I genuinely wouldn't be shocked if we saw that as well. But people, I wanted to give my predicted lineup and my score prediction and my little bits of thoughts, my feelings. I am going to do a 10-minute preview. So if you want to watch that, that is going to be up tomorrow. But right now, we are going to be going live for the Manchester City-Tottenham hate-along. We need Tottenham to win for that title race, don't we? Also, oh no, who did I captain in FPL? Oh no. I think I made a mistake and I captained like Chris Wood or something. Oh no. Who did I captain? I captained Salah. Okay, fair enough. I bagged Salah to get me at least a goal or an assist. I probably should have captained Pedro because he got me 15 points. Whoops. Gabriel playing Leeds. I expect a clean sheet. Gabriel can always pop up with a goal as well. So the players that are playing in this game is literally Haaland and Aït-Nouri. What we want is Haaland to bag an absolute hat trick, but a draw. No, a loss still. Haaland to bag a hat trick, but still lose. Should still get a decent amount of points, but I doubt that would happen. Newcastle 4-0. Oh, you're a Madrid fan. Oh, mate, we're probably gonna get you in the Champions League. Well, it might not be as bad as people think. People in Newcastle trying hard to win. Newcastle 4, Liverpool 0. Salah hat-trick converts goal. I like the thinking, mate. I need Haaland and Cherki to cook and Kudus too. Yeah, man. Good luck with your FPL chat. Good luck with your FPLs today. People will be going live for the watch along now of Manchester City versus Tottenham. Make sure you click on over on the redirect. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already done so, we are literally 20 subscribers from 2,200. So let's try and get that possibly this weekend. Want Haaland to get injured. Madrid are getting slapped. Fair enough. But yeah, people are going to go and redirect over to there. Make sure you enjoy your beautiful rest of the day. Enjoy your FPL. Enjoy the football. And let's go and watch Man City versus Tottenham. Bosh.